welcome to Dapp Mentors. My name is Darlington Gospel, and I hope you're doing great. Okay, so today I want to teach you how to start integrating AI agents into Web3 development. So the time has come, and the industry is really running fast. Things are moving fast, and we need to make sure that we are up to the hook. There are many things that have come out recently that concerns the integration of web development, app development, or software development in total. So blockchain is not also left behind. I truly believe that the integration of AI into blockchain, kind of what I want to do in this channel. AI agent will manage the process of, Dapp operations, okay, on your BI layer in your entire Dapp process. So those are some things that we would like to do in this channel. So if you haven't subscribed yet, please, I would like you to hit that like and subscribe button, smash that notification bell so you won't miss out anything on this channel. So there's a lot that is coming. Today, I want to just do a quick thing with you where I teach you how to set up an AI, workflow where you can, interact, or just show you an example of how to integrate an AI in your Dapp, your decentralized application. We're going to use our previous tutorial as a example in this case, and I've already built, I'm just going to expose like 2 or 3 endpoints, which we can then utilize that to communicate with our AI agent, and running all that. So I'm going to show you step by step how I do this thing from installation to the demonstration all together. So that is what we're going to be doing. I hope you're set, and if you're set, please let's jump into the tutorial. Okay, so before we proceed, I would like to show you something, a demo on what I have actually done. So for example, this is our platform that we built recently, a crowdfunding application built on Rust, aka Solana, Anchor framework, and it's running on the Solana blockchain currently. So these are information about it. It's running on my local host, and I've set up this workflow. This is built using N8N, a workflow basically, and it has an AI agent that manages all these tools that are here, and I have OpenAI configured. But I'm going to show you all these things, step by step as we go. Okay, so let's get it, going. I'm just going to do the most important things, so I won't have to spend too much time on this video. So here is my N8N, robot or bot, chatbot, and I'm supposed to get information about this. So for example, if I say hello, I'm supposed to receive a response. You can see that, hi Darlington, how can I assist you today? If I say something like, give me the status of our platform, and what it's supposed to do is to get me a general information about the performance of the various campaigns on our platform. You can see that now. So here is the current status of the active campaigns on our platform. You have this post which has about 3 Solana tokens. You can see that here. So it's pulling all this information using some HTTP connection, and you can have it also listed all of them, and the goals, the donors, and all that. So all those information are available right away. So this was pulling information for me from the blockchain. There are also other use cases that I can have, because I have some features that I enabled here. Like this is the research agent that I added to it, which gives it information. Like I could ask for the current the current Bitcoin price. If I did not add this, if it didn't have access to the internet, that node or that provision gives it access to the internet. So I could do something like this: what is the current Bitcoin price to the dollar? And then ask that, and it knows exactly which agent is supposed to invoke in order to give me my response. So sometimes this takes some time. This takes a little bit of time, and all these things are still on development mode. You can see that now that the current price of Bitcoin, varies depending. So in the coin market, this Yahoo financing, this is how it is. This is how it is on Coinbase. This is how it is on MoonPay. So it just differs across those. So it's able to pull the current information for me as well. That I could ask, and it does research for me. I could use that to get balance, of my Solana wallet or so on the DevNet, because that is what I've actually designed it to be. So if I can open my Solana wallet, so let's see, this particular wallet, I have about 7.5 Solana token. So if I copy this and say, can you check on the balance of this account, paste that, and it's supposed to go and pull that information. See, the balance of the account is approximately 7.5 2 tokens. You can do that. You can use it to check information of a PDA, so a program derived address, or the program address itself, or a user address, anything like that on Solana platform. So these are mostly all the enablements. You can use it to get all campaigns, or to get the campaign details. So at this point, this is the end of our demo. You could add more abilities to this, and you have to also be careful with security, because you don't want to expose some certain endpoints that can give an unauthorized user some leverages that can be used against your system. Say, for example, if someone get access to your Telegram handle, they could actually just perform a certain operation, on your behalf, and that operation could be detrimental if you had exposed some sensitive endpoints like that. So that is it for our demonstration. I'm going to jump into the development aspect now, help you set up all these things so you know what is going on in this AI space. So I'll see you next. Okay, so it is time for us to start doing some installing the various things that are required to have N8N running, and then let's configure this entire workflow to make it happen. Okay, so the thing is that my own N8N is running on my own VPS, server online. So since not everybody has a server, we can use that means to get the entire thing installed. What I can do is to just give you a little bit of a heads up on what you needed to do to make that happen. So if you come to Relay, I haven't used this before, but let's try it out to help us to see if we can get this thing done. So you come to login, and you log in with your GitHub repo or GitHub handle. So I'm logging in. I've not even created anything before. You can see that they've given me a free tier of $5 and 512 megabyte, 1 gig disk, and all that. Just a simple thing for you to use. So you need to create a new project, come to deploy template, and we're looking for N8N. You see this is already here, and this has like the highest number of usage. You understand that? So a lot of people are using this of recent here. So I'm gonna spin that up. So let's give it some time to spin up successfully. So it's saying that it wants to, these are the things that it wants to configure. It wants to deploy both an N8N, a node, and a worker of N8N, and Redis, and then Postgres. So you say deploy. So this is deploying, and once it is done, it will be ready. So at this point, these services have been deployed, and this is kind of the one I'm interested in. So we can access it using these endpoints. So we're going to have to do something similar to what we did before. All right, so here we go. And we're still going to use another password. So we're coming into, okay, so software, IT. I'm just really tired of having to fill up all this form again and again. Okay, myself, this on YouTube, get started. Yeah, you should definitely send this free trial, okay, which you can use later on to activate your NBN node. So this is the same place that we were before. Let's create another node, say Telegram, okay, on message. We want to really test this thing out and ensure that you can get an access token through this bot father, which is basically a Telegram bot, a Telegram bot platform that is responsible for helping you create other bots on the platform. So let's create a new bot by just clicking this button, say /new bot, and you have a name for it, which we can call Dapp Mentors DM. DM, what should we call it? DM N8N bot, okay, or DMA, okay, let's call it like that. And then you create that. They will also need you to have like a username for it, okay, a username which you need to specify. I'm going to use the same name but all in lowercase, okay. So you have DMA N8N bot. All right, so you see that this is the access token that has been given to you. So you just need to copy it, and it's copied right now, and paste this, save. Okay, connection has been established. Great. So now let us test this and see what is going on. So it's test. Let's check it out. Say hello. You can see that this actually received that Telegram message, which is great. Okay, so that means this is working. All right, so that's my Telegram trigger. I'm going to bring it over here so that I can walk through this. So now I'm going to bring in an AI agent. So you click on this plus button, go to AI agent. Okay, and you want to click on this AI agent right here. Okay, and you want the input to be coming from define. You want to define the input below here. So you want to drag in this text message. Okay, this is a text message here, this one. So this one you want to drag in here, you drop it here. So that's a text message. Okay, and you want to give this AI a system message. Okay, let's define that system message. First thing you want to do is say you want to give it a role. You want to say that you are a helper assistant named Tonic, and you are talking to, then you put the name of the person, which is like the first name of this person. You can drag this first name here and drop it here. So that is how you get the first name. And you can say additional context. The additional context is that current date is, you put a double quote and then you say now. So this is the time that this conversation is taking place, and you want to say you want to give you some information like for now, let us keep it here. Let's just keep it here. We'll be coming back to this later on. That's great. So you always want to save, okay, and not waste time. So the next thing you want to do, you want to assign a chat model. Now, a chat model can come from Solana, if you click on Olama, then you need to also set up a credential for it, the base URL. You just need to set up your own personal base URL, and I think that will be fine. But we're not using Olama. If with Olama, you can use DeepSeek, the new DeepSeek that you can actually have some AI reasoning as part of it. So, but I'm not working with Olama. I'm working with hope you have OpenAI. Okay, so we're gonna be creating credential with OpenAI. All right, so you need to go grab an API key, from OpenAI. So, and how you do that, I think you need to come to OpenAPI in this platform.openai.com, and then you log in or you sign up if you don't already have one. This is not free, okay? This is not free, so you have to log in with your resources, and you create an account with them, and you deposit some amount of money for the usage of their API. I think as little as $10 below, will be okay for you. So you can use that. Come to dashboard, and you come to API keys. Then you can create a new API key right here. All right, by just clicking API key and put the name and click create. But I've already created two, and I'm not willing to create another one. So I'm just going to copy the one I was previously using, with my other, node. So I'm going to get that. So we need to come here and you paste it. Okay, this is the endpoint, and then you click save. So this is my key here. So you see it's been added successfully. So now I have access to my OpenAI node, and this OpenAI model right here, there are many options that are available. You can use GPT-4, you can use other ones, even O1 mini, okay? But I want to use this GPT-4 mini because it is faster, and I think it can be able to get the job done. So that's the first thing we want to do. The second thing you want to do, you want to give it a memory. For this, we're going to use the buffer memory, and you want to define the key, which should be a unique key, and this chat ID of the person that is communicating with you is going to be unique. Okay, so we're using that unique key, and then this is where you define the tools that are going to be required. So for example, I want to give you the calculator, okay, which is going to assist the AI model to do some mathematical operations. So if I come here and I specify the rows as well, I can actually tell the AI the tools that it's going to be using. First of all, that I'm going to be working, what you don't know yet, but I'm going to be working with a lot of Solana token, information such as the price of Solana and the unit metrics of Solana. So I want to inform this AI model that the value of campaigns and wallet balances are prescribed in Solana token, and then you can give it some tools. These are the tools that I'm giving it. Let's say this is 2. Okay, so these are the following tools that I'm giving it. 1, I want to give it calculator, which I just added, and I'm saying these information are going to be very important. Please, it helps to optimize the reasoning, the understanding of the AI about all the tools that it has available. It just helps it to do its job better. Okay, so we have AI right here, and this is good. You see, when I said hello, okay, this is the message that I sent. Simply start, and now let me save this thing, and I'm going to run this particular node, and let's see how it responds. So when I run this, it's going to produce an output. Okay, so I'm going to view this here. It's executing this node. You can see, hello Darlington, how can I assist you today? This is really cool. and now I need an output, an outlet to send back that message to this DMA right here. Okay, and to achieve that, you need to click on search for Telegram. Okay, and in the Telegram you want to look for one called send text message. Okay, send text message. You click on this, it's going to use that Telegram account API, and it's a message. The chat ID that you're sending to is the same that received that sent the message, so you're going to pass that here. And then the text that you want to send is this output from the AI, so you put it here. Okay, so yeah, that is just the things. So when you do this, you click on test setup, then you see it has sent the message. Right here you can see I just received a Telegram notification. You can see here saying hello Darlington, how can I assist you today? This message was sent automatically with NBN. So this little information that is sending is not necessary, so I think you can come here and say append NBN attribute to be disabled. So when we try that again, okay, and when it comes here this time around, you see that it doesn't have that this message was sent by NBN anymore. So that is how you set up your workflow, and now we know that the messages are coming and flowing. So that is cool, but this is not what we're looking for. We're not trying to we're not trying to do something that will just chat with an AI. We're actually doing something where we want it to retrieve information for us from our endpoint, and we just do all those sort of communication, okay, on our behalf. So to actualize that, I'm gonna come here. I want to show you this first. Let's come here. So this is my application that is running on offline. This application is the same as the one that is running online right here. Okay, so I think I'm just going to close this, right? So in this application we do have some endpoints, which is when you come to this API, this one enables you to list out the campaigns. Now you can see, if you were part of that tutorial, you watch out that I was able to just fetch all the active campaigns and also get the provider from this blockchain service that I had already created. Now you can see now that I'm making use of a header record. So anyone that is accessing this place will have to provide this secret information. Without that, you cannot have access to the resources that this particular route provides. And you see that we are making sure that you are authorized, and then we'll grab the program, and then we'll grab those information. We're only doing read operation in this particular video. Okay, maybe in other ones, when we are doing a more robust AI agent, then we can do create, but that we're going to involve other kinds of codes. Like, you should be ready to embrace Python. Most of these things, building an AI agent is mostly targeted in the Python ecosystem, and that is why it is very important for you to have different kinds of programming languages. You familiarize yourself with it. So I built quite a lot of stuff around with Python as well. It's not something that is very freakish. It's very simple either too. So, and then we just grab the campaigns and return it as a JSON. Okay, that is what this endpoint does. So, but this endpoint is hosted right here. All right, so that is where the endpoint is hosted, and we need to have access to it. I would say that one is for getting campaign. So this will be the endpoint of it. Let's come to this end-to-end workflow now. I'm going to change this to DMA TL bot. Okay, give it this. Say end-to-end agent. So this is the name of the workflow, and I want to come here and give it more to one of the tools that we want to give is HTTP request. So this will help you to make HTTP request. And the name of this request, let's call it get campaigns. Okay, so that will help you to retrieve the campaigns that are stored in this place. Like you can see, there are currently 3, the active ones to be precise. And then the method that we're using here is the get method. You paste this, endpoint founders, which is the one that is running on Vercel right here, /API/list campaign. Now the authentication, you have to leave this like that. The send query, you have to leave it like that. Send header, exactly, you want that. So for this send header, you want to define them below. So for example, you want content type to be application JSON. So you say as defined below. All right, and then you say application, JSON. You want to add another header, okay? Mostly the two. This second header this time is this X, secret key, and you want to define it below. And so after now, I'm gonna have to change this though, because I don't want other people, having access to it. So I'm gonna change this. Currently I can say code.env. So we paste it here. Okay, so this is the secret key. We don't have any body parameters to send, so you want to say optimize response and leave it in JSON. So these are all the things you need, and then you want to just give a general description of what this endpoint does. So you can say call this endpoint to retrieve active campaigns, from our platform, from our blockchain platform. Okay, so that is what this does. All right, so that is one node right here. So if I save this, but before I save it, if I come here, okay, now let me save it first. Okay, let me disable this, okay, and save. When I save, if I want immediate response from this robot, I will have to make this thing active. So we want to keep it active so that we won't have to run this node individually. So you say don't, workflow is activated. Got it. Don't show me that again. And then you come here and say, give me a status of our platform. Okay, now, but before I go and execute that command, I need to make sure that I have that tool listed here. You can see it's not part of the tool that I want to list. So I will have to list that tool first, to make sure that I don't mess up. Okay, so come here. So this is the tool. We're telling you that you should use this tool called get campaigns, to retrieve all campaigns from our crowdfunding API, platform. So we can copy this as well and make sure that we update this information properly to, so this thing we say crowdfunding API platform. All right, so let's save that and so let's check it out. Say give me the status of our platform, and let's run that. Let's see. When you execute a command, it's going to pass through this process called execution. You can see that it is executed. Okay, and there are two executions that are running side by side. One, but they are queued. Okay, they are queued, so there's something really slowing them down. I'm going to deactivate it and test it manually, because it is not just listening to instructions. So I'm going to send another message, right here. And this is why I would recommend to get your own VPS and run this thing on your own VPS, because relying on all these providers, they don't just get what you want done properly, which is not cool. So now we're executing that. I say how this went correctly. Say it seems I can't directly check the status of the platform. However, we can look for specific information about campaign wallet and other. Please let us know. So if I run this, okay, you see the response it gives me. So, but what if I activate this too, save it, and let's run this particular node again, not this one, but this one alone. Okay, so let's run that this time, being that it now have access to that too. And let's see. So you see, this is the message right here, schema. So JSON. So you see, here's the current status of, so it got access to all those campaign, retrieved it from that API, and then I could send it here. When I send it to this anything, just having a little bit of a network delay here, but it's going to receive it and present it to me here. Okay, so you can see the message came, and you can see the list of the statuses of our project. These are all the information that our current campaigns that our platform does have, which is cool. We're grabbing it without relying on the web interface for this. So that is one endpoint. We can create many more endpoints with this. So I'm going to just duplicate this. Okay, so we want to call this get campaign, like as in singular, and for that one, I think we can go to this list campaign, say show campaign. That is the endpoint for that. If I show you the details of this, you can see the logic right there. It simply just grab those information like before, and it will grab the URL and extract the PDA from the URL, and if there is no PDA in it to provide this information, but if there is a PDA and it's a valid Solana string, it's going to proceed by grabbing that specific campaign by the PDA and return it using this content type JSON. So that's what that endpoint does. So I'm just going to come here and say show campaign as in singular. So this, you call this endpoint to retrieve specific campaign detail from a crowdfunding API. So this is what it does, and the same thing, but then it has one extra thing, which is, see this place called send query parameter. Okay, we're going to add it here, and we want to add a feed called PDA. This PDA is going to be provided by our model. So you can see provided by our model, and it's required. So the model knows to provide these record. So that's one of the cool thing about using an agent. An agent knows that, okay, this is a PDA. I'm going to specify that information in this place. So that's what that will do for us. And you can connect it there, and that will become like a tool. And you can also add that as a tool right there, so this agent can have information about it. So we're just gonna say get campaign details. Okay, get campaign, use, let's call it get campaign details. Okay, use this tool to retrieve specific campaign detail from our crowdfunding platform using the provided PDA. Okay, provided Solana PDA. Okay, so there we go, and I'm going to rename this a little bit, so say get campaign details. All right, so I will say we save that. Now we can come in here, see test workflow. Now it's waiting for a trigger. Now if I say what the details of this project or campaign, I should have said campaign. So you see that it's running everything or immediately, and it has sent notification as well. So it seems there was an error when trying to retrieve the details. Stormy is in this could be due to temporary issue with the system. If we check here, there was an error, request failed with status 500. So there is an issue with how this is being passed. So this is the campaign information that is being passed, and it should return the appropriate stuff. So it's definitely not coming from here. So request failed with the status 500. That is weird. So if we come here, we have an API endpoint. Let's use Thunder, and we can see, let's create a new request. Let's get and say PD, give it this value, and make sure that we provide this endpoint here. This is how you test an endpoint on VS Code. There's literally an extension that helps you do this. So PD, the name of the extension is called Thunder Client. All right. So, and you want to specify content type to be application JSON and X secret. Remember that key. So want to also pass that here. Copy it. Okay. Secret. Then you pass this value here. So let's run this and see. So it is still failing. So at this point, we're going to have to leave it alone and come to this last endpoint here. So this last endpoint, we want to say, want to get the public address, like what's the balance? Each balance a particular what's it called? The balance of a specific wallet address on on Solana. That is what this particular endpoint does. Okay, so it simply just retrieves that balance for you. Okay, so you will need to pass in the request. So to do that, let's come back here and we can duplicate this. Duplicate and see, call this endpoint to retrieve specific wallet, specific balance of a wallet, PD, or okay. So this endpoint ends with public balance, and this time this endpoint is a post endpoint. Okay, is a post request that we're making. So this helps you to retrieve specific balance of a wallet, PD, or program, from the Solana blockchain. Okay, you can straighten that word properly. Okay, specific. Okay, so you don't need to send any query parameter on this one, that's for sure. And this content type remains the same, this secret remains the same, and there's going to be a body this time. Okay, so you specify a body, and the name of this body is going to be called account address. Okay, this account address is going to be specifically entered by the model, and you want to give this a get balance. Okay, so it's going to be entered by that model, the OpenAI model, the AI agent itself. So this is all you need, and you want to make sure that it's connected as well, and you want to add that too. Okay, so I'm going to make sure that this. It's like this. So this to simply just get balance. Use this to retrieve a balance of an account, program, or a PDA wallet from the Solana blockchain. So you're going to save this now. So let's try that. Okay, so let's say get the current account balance for this address. You can see it's running the process now. I think it has retrieved it, and you can see the current balance for this specific wallet address now is around, which is just one Solana token basically. And 9.585 Solana token. That is what it is retrieving back, and it's making that API call to our endpoint and pulling up that information for us without any hassle. That is absolutely interesting. Okay, so now just imagine now you build a more robust, fault tolerant system, maybe not with an anytime workflow, but let's say using something like Pydantic AI to put these things together and then execute them, and then this kind of is also providing your users information, and it will enable them to perform transactions from their Telegram interface, and they can communicate with your application using this, or even building a Web3 enablement, Web3 features that enable users to communicate using an anytime workflow or an agent that is created, let's say with Pydantic AI or something. That would be really awesome. That would be really cool. Like you can see, I can just talk to the AI, and it knows how to think, how to translate the code, the address, and actually send it, retrieve it, translate it for me, and all that. Is the new way of development. Is the new way, and you need to get into it right now that is in the infancy, and have understanding on how you can enhance your blockchain development by the incorporation of AI into it. Okay, so I wish as of this point I could just have this thing functioning without that whole workflow delay thing. I think I shouldn't have utilized that worker process. I don't know if I can remove it, but it looks like it's this worker that is okay. This worker probably did not deploy, so it didn't deploy, so that's why this isn't executing. Okay, so deployment is in progress, and now it's deployed successfully. Okay, so now hopefully when I refresh this, it should execute, run the execution and not queue it, because the queuing thing is open. Say hello. Let's see that. Okay, see it's running this time around. Is no longer freezing. I think it has executed and given me a response instantly. So this is really cool, and I hope it was a fantastic experience for you. You are able to see how we can bring in these things together. Okay, I don't want to go through the process of creating an what's it called. There is another one called research agent, where you can get current information, because that will make this video too long, and it will involve some API keys and all that, and I don't want to bother you with all those extra things. So this is just how you can create an AI agent and integrate Web3 features with it. But before I go, I would like to give you some tips. Okay, some tips that is gonna be very important. I've tried this particular package, this end-to-end, and I've also tried some other things such as LangChain, and I'm also going to be looking more into Pydantic AI. One thing that I can tell you for sure is that you will need a resilient system. This system to me isn't very much resilient. There are some things, like if you want to do it on production level, you're going to have to provide a lot of workers, a lot of things under the hood that can process these things faster, and so that it will not block the request that is coming from another person. So these are some things that you need to know. The best that I will recommend is, first of all, you need to self-host these things as much as possible. Host it yourself. Don't depend on Vercel. Don't depend on Railway. You understand? Don't depend on all these people. Host it yourself. Get yourself a VPS if you really want to explore Web3 to its fullest, and also this rise in AI agents and all of that. Get yourself a VPS and operate these things yourself. Set it up in a way that suits you and suits your project specifically. Okay, deploy using Docker containers. All right, so I do have Docker containers that I do deploy. My projects are often on Docker containers and they are running, and I've set it up in a way that I have automatic deployment. Like whenever I make any push on GitHub, it will automatically update my container, restart it, and everything just looks like that. The whole idea of CI/CD, okay, it makes the whole development experience faster and much more reliant. Now, another tip 3, n8n usage shouldn't involve too much intensive task. So if you're using n8n, okay, do not involve too much intensive task. For example, if you're trying to do something that involves real-time information, like you're logging in a user, you created a procedure that enables you to log in user and know who is currently logged in and all that. That will not take time before it starts becoming an issue, because the AI, when it stores these things in this memory, like this memory buffer right here, when it stores this thing, when you update a new session token, or let's call it authentication token, and it's going to be having issues remembering, knowing, oh, this one is the updated one and the previous one has expired, and then it will be giving you some really crazy hallucination. I suffered through this thing. I know what I'm talking about. I'm talking about a process where the AI is storing the access tokens in its mind, in the memory, which is this memory buffer right here. But then it is having issues sometimes distinguishing which one is the older token or the expired token and which one is the new token that is active, and so confuses your users a lot, and it will make the experience really, really bad. So because of that, I had to change the whole way I was designing that AI. So when it comes to real-time information, you don't do that. When it comes to operation that we take computer resources and to take some time, I will recommend that you do that on the background. For example, if you're going to be scraping a website, okay, I know that this website is going to go, and this website is depending on, let's say, the scraping is depending on proxy, rotation system, and that enablement is available for bright data. Let's say you're using bright data to scrape the web, and your sign-in capture, your capture in the browser, then that whole entire thing is being processed before it returns result for you. It takes significant amount of time. You cannot wait. You understand it? That whole procedure is just going to take a whole lot of time. You have to delegate that to a background task. That would be the best way to work it. I would recommend that any process that is going to require up to 20 seconds, more than 20 seconds, let's just say more than 20 seconds of response before it gets response. Like you can see here that these are happening. You can see that this is happening 6 seconds, 5 seconds, 4 seconds. This is 14 seconds. So any process, any execution that is going to get up to 20 and above, that should be delegated into a background task. I'm giving you tips that will help you as you're working, so that you won't have to go through the hassles that I did go through. All right. So another tip 4 is that try using local AI models such as DeepSeek, R1. Okay, you can see right now that I'm using a ChatGPT AI, OpenAI model, which is okay. There is nothing bad about it. But the problem is that this is not free, and I have to be paying a certain amount of money to be doing this. Meanwhile, there are very good models that can also serve this purpose for me, especially that DeepSeek. So I can use something like Olama, okay? But for you to have Olama, interacting with this node, you have to be running it, let's say, on a container on Docker. And to do that, you need a VPS, because you can't just run it on local connection, except you want all your applications to be running locally on your machine. You can have it run on your own personal VPS, and then connect it to your end-to-end workflow, and it can execute those things for you, which is really cool in my opinion. And it will help you to build a more robust AI agent without you fearing exhausting your tokens, because each execution that is happening right here, it is costing me OpenAI token to have all those things. So my money is running down per time, even though it's not like super fast, but at least the money is still running down. So, but if you have your own open source project like these DeepSeek models, that is just free AI model, and it's just going to be working very smartly for you, and all that. You have all the benefits that you would have gotten using OpenAI. So this is what I would say concerning that. And the fifth tips that you should know when you're building AI model for Web3 or anything at all. AI agent, sorry, I keep mixing that entire thing. Use specialized AI agent frameworks such as Pydantic AI for building resilient AI. I keep on mentioning this. Okay, this is an AI agent, but it's not going to be very tough enough to do something. This AI agent, for example, sometimes it does hallucinate, and that hallucination is just crazy, because you ask a question that I'm talking about me as a developer, know that this thing should return that specific response, but it's going to be giving me another response. Then I have to tell it to look into its policies, I'll be like, oh, sorry for that whole thing. You see, that thing is not great. So but if you have like your own, you built it customized, you understand, let's say with Python, okay, and it's running like its own service and it's doing heavy duty stuff. This one is only useful and is very good in executing lightweight stuff. Please, I want you to understand this. If you want to do heavy duty stuff where AI is involved, use an AI framework like Pydantic AI. But if you want to do lightweight stuff, which is to just query-based, activity where you just retrieve information and just do lightweight, AI agent stuff like send a message to this person, do this thing, schedule this calendar, all those little things. But when it comes to heavy-duty stuff like decompress something, process something, transcode something, do all those things, you better not be, if that system is going to be for public consumption, then it's going to take a lot of, time, and people are going to have poor experience utilizing it. So I'm telling you this thing because these are the things that I've taken note of working on this and with that. So that kind of gave me a lot of understanding. The sixth tip that I'm going to give you is use a vector store, a rugged vector store, okay, for if you want to do things like RAG systems. Okay, so for example, and I really favor open source project. So you see, like the DeepSeek is an open source project which Olama is also an open source, and I can use Olama to get things together. All right. You also have this thing called Nomic Vector Store. Nomic Vector Store is better than OpenAI's Vector Store, which you can use to do robust system and save that on your own cloud without you sharing those information with OpenAI or any other AI company such as Anthropic or anything. You can run all these things on your own. So I favor having these things run on your own instead of handing it over to OpenAI, for their own consumption. No, you don't want to do that. So so that is the thing. Get a vector store. Okay. Currently, I do have some models right here. Let me just show you. So if I come to terminal. Okay, so this is my AI model. So if I run Olama list, you find out that I have this is DeepSeek R1, the 8 billion parameters. It's just close to 5 gigabytes. And then you have this Nomic text embedding this thing vector store, which is just around 274 megabytes. So you can use this. You can even use it in line and use it along with both. This is both. You can see I'm using it with both right here, and I can use that to ask question, and it will do some really cool thinking stuff, for me. So I recommend that you go open source. So I'm giving you tips that will help you, and not make you get stuck. So the last thing among the tips that I want to give you this evening is blockchain integration should be consumed as a service. So if you're going to do blockchain integration, it's going to always be as a service. Prepare it as a service-based system and let the communication be secure through things like this header, the secret key that will be used to communicate. Okay, so something simple. It doesn't need to be complicated. So what I mean, it doesn't need to be so complicated. Don't utilize access token that is like bearer token, where you don't do your own, don't perform your own, what will I call it? Your own authentication on anything. You understand that? Let the authentication be happening on that specific service using secret key. That will be easy and very efficient, so that when you're communicating, you just need to put those secret key, just like I did here. You can see I just need to pass that secret key, and it knows exactly what to do, and it go get me my information. So that is some things you need to take note of. Let blockchain activities be their own services, and if you do that, you'll be blessed. All right, so that will be all for this tutorial. I know that it has taken longer than I expected, but I just needed to give you an overview and an entire catalog of the things that you need to look out for and how things are done, in this AI space, and how it can be integrated with blockchain as well. So I hope that was not very, intensive, and please, we would really like that you join our community by subscribing to our YouTube channel. Hit that like and subscribe button, hit the notification bell, and we're very happy to have you as part of us. There are many things that are coming here still. There's so many things. There are just know that there is crazy stuff that will be coming on the channel that will really help you to see different perspective of how you can integrate AI into the blockchain. So my name is Darlington Gospel, and I'm going to see you in the next tutorial.